So, today we're on a mission to find out, is this the most boring Fortnite player in the world? And typically you hear boring and you think bad. But I say boring because if you look at the timeline here, my good friend Camy has no kills the whole game. In the finals of the Solo Cash Cup, he only gets kills in like the last 2 minutes of the game. So, we are here to discover, what is Camy doing? How is he winning games, winning the Solo Cash Cup? Can we talk about that for a second? Camy won the Solo Cash Cup. I thought the Solo Cash Cups were for the true artists of the game. The fraggers, the exciting piece controllers. They're just letting anyone win them nowadays. I mean, not just anyone, to be fair. Camy is one of the best players of all time. One of the GOATs. And not one of the flashiest players, but one of the most efficient players. And so we're going to watch this game, figure out what it is Camy's doing. As you can see, he's landing here towards the north and already very efficient with his loot path, of course. He's going to start at this building, move across over to the left, and just keep on looting through here. The great part about this spot is that there is a decent amount of chests, and there is the special chest. What the hell the chest called this season? I can't even remember. I'm about to start commenting on the broadcast, and I don't even remember the name of these chests. They got these nice chests, right, where you can get some good loot, and you can already see he's got some good loot from here. 3 bigs, some splashes. Probably gonna want to try loot a bit more just to cap off them splashes, and then obviously the Oni mask, purple pump. Nice stuff here from Camy. The great thing about this spot as well is that you can potentially play for a shrine there. I'm forgetting the names of everything this season. You can play for the shrine potentially. Oh, don't know what's happening here with the replay. Don't know what is happening here with the replay. I'm assuming it's going to fix itself, or did he crash? Did Camy crash at this point in the game? I'm not too sure. It's loading. All right, no, it didn't crash. It's just Fortnite replay system being amazing as always. This is basically the only metal he can get in this area, so he's usually going to just farm all of this. I've watched one other of his Solo Cash Cup games, so I'm somewhat familiar with this area and this spot. And look, this is going to be a perfect opportunity for anybody watching it to learn. If you are crap at the game like me, Camy is the best person to watch. Always. Anytime anybody asks me, who should I watch to get better at the game, I always tell them Camy, because he's not flashy, he's not a crazy fragger, he's not got mechs that you can't replicate. You know, there's no point watching Peterbot and Vico and all these guys. There's absolutely no point. You can never do what these guys do. So you're much better off watching someone like Camy, who at least has a playstyle that you probably could somewhat replicate. You probably still can't replicate his playstyle because there's a good chance if you're watching this, you're just too dumb. It sounds harsh, I know, but there's a good chance you're not smart enough. But at least you can take some of the things he does. And so we're going to talk about some of the really good things that Camy does that you can definitely use in your games to find success in solos and in Solo Cash Cups. Of course, he won this Solo Cash Cup, and this was the win he had in this Solo Cash Cup. Already we're seeing here he's playing in the Storm a bit. You know, we've had a bunch of metas this year where you've been able to play in Storm a bunch, and Camy's always been one of the players that's done that. This meta isn't as heavy towards that. Like, we're not seeing a bunch of people playing Storm, right? Which gives him the advantage in playing Storm, because it means he doesn't have to worry as many people being here. The good thing about this area of the map as well towards the north is there's so many campfires in this area. There's a lot of extra loot, so there's going to be med kits like this lying around all across the board, which gives him that comfort in being able to play in the Storm a bit longer as well, and avoid a lot of the messiness that takes place in the first, you know, 3 zones, right? If you can play in Storm and then just get in 3rd, 4th zone, you know, it's very low risk for him, right? And that's one of the keys to success for Camy. It's low risk decision making. He's always gonna take the decision or to make the play, especially in the earlier parts of the game, that is lowest risk, you know, lowest chance of him getting screwed as a result of it. And there's a good chance if you're watching this, you should be doing that too in your games, right? Try and think about how do I avoid people? How do I take the least risk? The good thing about now he's rotating into Flooded Frogs. So again, there's going to be spare loot here. You can see like there was a chest lying about somewhere. We're going to watch a lot of this game on 2x speed. We'll slow it down towards the end where there's more to talk about, but these early parts, I'm not going to bore you with, you know, watching this out slowly. Good thing here is you can see he's going to fish now. Gonna look to get some shield fish, I'm assuming, right? Instead of having 3 bigs. 3 shield fish over 3 bigs. I mean, quick heals, you get their heals faster. I think in solos, I prefer having quick heals. Like, I prefer having like 3 shield fish and 6 splashes, right? Because, you know, you get beams, you get tagged, you can instantly get your HP back. Obviously in team modes, it can vary. You still want shieldfish and team modes, to be fair. But yeah, you can see here, he ends up getting, oh, actually, I'm assuming that was the fire perk he picked up. The one that allows you to reload a bit faster. It's not phenomenal. If you're playing with an auto, it's pretty decent, as Coach Harry did teach me. But yeah, nice. You can see he's just going to be able to loot up here, get a bunch of stuff, and not too much here. Avoids a lot of the nonsense. There's 50 players left in this game. From what I've seen in a lot of the solo cash cup games, there's not much surge, right? So you're not having to worry about surge really. Caps off his splashes there, which is nice. And then he's going to juggle this med kit in towards. The good thing about rotating down through here as well is now there's a bunch of metal he can get from the caravans. He's already got good metal, actually. I didn't realize that he had 420, so he's practically cap. And that's one of the beauties of Camy. He's always going to keep his mats high. Always. You will never watch a game when Camy's mats are just low, right? For no reason at all. Always going to keep his mats high. And now that he rotates in, it'll be interesting to see how he plays this, right? Because we know Mr. Camy, what does he like to do? He likes to be on the dead side of the zone. Zone is very central here, right? So you see there's no real dead side. There's congestion everywhere. And so it'll be interesting to see how he maneuvers through these zones in that situation. Really interesting though. We'll sort it down. He places a mask of voids into that bush and rotates. Of course, you can use the void around 180 meters away. So actually an interesting tactic there you can maybe use in terms of, it's almost like if you've ever watched Rick and Morty, that one episode where Morty has that reset button, right? Because he sort of places it down, and as he rotates, if he gets into any trouble, he can void mask back and be in safety. Nice there, clearing the bush using a shotgun. Make sure you're using your shotgun to clear bushes, up close at least, right? If you're up close like this, you should definitely be using your shotgun. And he builds up over it as well, just to give himself some elevation, which is nice. The reason I say use your shotgun is because if you whip out your AR and there was somebody in that bush and you start spraying it like a drone, you're gonna get shot back. Whereas you shoot with your shotgun, you're in a much better position to actually start fighting, and the player usually isn't gonna shoot you back straight away. So now we can sit on this bush on edge here, and I'm guessing he's going to just keep playing from edge to edge as long as reasonably possible, right? There's nothing really he has to do here. And so it seems boring, but realistically, what does he have to do? He doesn't have to worry about surge. He's got near enough cap mats. He's got cap shields, good loot, a mask. Don't overcook. Don't overcook. No reason to overcook here. No reason to do anything. We'll speed it up as he rotates now. I mentioned efficiency before, right? I'm sure we're going to see it here. Anytime Camy rotates, he's going to be rotating onto things he can farm and then using those mats appropriately, right? So you see he moves towards this tree, so he builds in wood so he can farm back his wood. We can see he tried to go ahead there, but there was a player there, so he stops, doesn't want to get done by Radion. As soon as Radion rotates though, Camy will start moving himself. Where's he mask into? He's going to void mask onto some brick, building some brick, right? This is the cycle with Camy. He's going to keep his mats high, going to be super efficient. He's got excellent mat knowledge, so he always sort of knows where he can get some good mats, right? Knows where the best mats are. And that's going to be something that is going to give you a big skill gap. If you know what all the best mats are, this just comes from playing the game and experience. You know, okay, cool, I need to base on this rock instead of this one because this one's going to give me more mats than the other one. And from now, as zone starts getting smaller and smaller in fifth zone, right, the margins are finer, right? So this is where you can see he's scouting around the bunch. He's trying to figure out just exactly he's going to rotate next, depending on where the zone pulls. He needs to figure out what his options are. He's going to clear out that base there. Interesting, right? So he's clearing out that base. He's trying to figure out, okay, nobody's here. That means that if the zone pulls in this direction, that's a good option for me to get ahead of the guys next to me. Zone doesn't pull there though. And so he's going to rotate. Oh, TPs. Surprise, surprise. TPs onto a tree. Builds in wood. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thought? He's going to TP again to try and get ahead. You can see how he's just insta-rotating, moving quickly. Not trying to get stuck with the rest of the lobby, trying to find positional advantages. A great positional advantage here. You can see if we zoom out, he's just increased his elevation, right? Moved up. He's got much better vision now in terms of where he can rotate to. A lot of the time, if you can stay up on hills and stay, this is something Camy does a bunch in the games I've seen from him. Always going to be in high elevation spots. This time though, he's clearing that bush with his AR instead of shotgun, of course, right? Because he's far away. Clears it with his AR, realizes no one's there, so he can rotate into the bush. And you can see he's just trying to get ahead, right? He went from all the way back here to here, ahead of all of these guys, because he's just moving quickly, position to position, not wasting much time. And now his mats are getting low, so he's going to have to start thinking about where he can refarm. And ultimately, with the zone opening up, I'd expect him to start going towards dead side to try refarm some of those mats. That is classic Camy. He's spent a bunch of mats. He wasn't able to rotate from onto any brick or wood or anything, right? Because there wasn't much there. And at this point in the game, you really need to be building in brick, right? Because, you know, there's just not really going to be many scenarios where you want to be building in full wood unless you want to get sprayed. As I say that, of course, he builds wood, but he moves from this box pretty quickly. He's already masking out of here. And instantly, again, onto a little refarm. He's going to mask again. And again, moving so quickly. Just trying to get away from all of these people here. He's onto dead side as well now, or he's going to have access to dead side soon as he masks again, right? And this time, mask onto some bricks. So now we can start to get back some of that brick. There's some wood here as well that he can start to farm. Still making sure to cover his angles. He's not like holding the side or anything. So he's needs to be careful that there isn't anyone sneaking up from this side, just how he did. But ultimately, the refarm game continues. There's some trees here for him to get. Still constantly checking his back. And there is somebody on his back, so needs to be careful there. Let's slow it down here. He spots that player in the brick base there. So he knows he needs to be careful when he's farming from this angle. He uses this building to block himself off and get that wood back, which is really nice. Bit of extra metal as well. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So up to this point, super efficient. When I paused earlier and I was talking about his mats and everything, he had what, 4 less builds? Where in the 7th zone, I think that was in like 4th zone when I mentioned that, right? He's managed to get all the way here onto dead side and he's barely used anything. Like, it doesn't get much more efficient than this. This is just vintage Camy. It's maximum. It's boring. I remember my good friend Somebody's Gun talked about boring Fortnite and how Camy and Seti play boring Fortnite. But boring Fortnite is the best Fortnite. You want to play boring Fortnite if you want to have success and if you want to be able to sustain your play style. Because you're not Peterbot. You're not, you know, Vico. You can't be them guys. And you probably can't be Camy either. But you're more likely to become Camy. Okay, so he's worried about that play on his left rotating right, and you can see he was constantly scouting it, looking at it. So he starts using this ridge here, because it sort of blocks off those angles, moves to this tree. Can base up in here. And he's actually gotten so unlucky with his own pulls, by the way. We started all the way up at the north of the map, and he's all the way down here. I don't think he's gotten a single pull. So he's going to have to rotate his way into 8th. We'll see how he does this. Scouting around, there's not really anybody with him here. Zone starts moving. So we'll see how he goes about this without too much suspicion. The good thing about solos is that there's not many people sort of like looking at dead side to try and like hold people, right? So he's able to just sort of mask there a bit for free onto these builds. Builds out a couple extra boxes as well, just to give himself some better vision. And now we can rotate and mask into the center of 8th zone. So right, he's bang smack in the center of 8th zone. Make sure to reinforce it. And this is a really nice spot for him. This is a really nice spot for him because the great thing about center of 8th zone is you sort of have the same rotation almost every time with first moving, right? In terms of like the distances you're going. And so being center of 8th like this, it's going to be a rotation he's going to be very familiar with, timing-wise. Zone pulls towards the east, and if you know anything about our good friend Camy, where does he want to be? Typically wants to be somewhere towards dead side here. The whole lobby is going to rotate in. This is going to be congested. He's going to want to stay away from that. Probably because of this hill here, he's probably going to want to be somewhere on this hill, just in case it pulls south, so that he can still be on a high elevation and get over that hill with ease. And obviously, generally, can't speak English. Generally, in moving zones, he's going to want to be higher layers, right? Because he's got good mats. He wants to stay away from all the poverty piss players. So we'll see how he rotates this now. He's going to be using his mask. Replay is just terrible because he definitely does not have 15 charges. He's been using charges like crazy, which is good. That's what you should be doing. I see too many people trying to like save their masks throughout games. It's good for him to use his masks here. So you can hear everybody starting to rotate now. Bunch of people rotating ahead of him. Make sure to mask up high. Builds in metal box. It's a bit awkward with like this guy sort of like above him, but it's still fine. He's not in zone yet. This is just a temporary checkpoint, sorry, before he gets into zone here. He has to build out a bit there, right? Because that guy was blocking him, like I said. So builds out a bit, is able to position his mask. And Bob's your uncle. And where are we? Oh, that's not where we want to be. Bob's your uncle. Where are we? Right by that hill, like I said. Center dead side. This is a nice spot for him because it means, again, that next moving zone rotation just becomes a bit easier. We'll see where this one pulls. Where are we going? You can see he was looking there in case he had to go over the hill, but it's going to go back actually towards the north. That's really nice. Okay, so he builds a couple extra boxes, and he's doing this because he needs to give himself a better timing. So you see now everyone's voiding towards front side. Everyone's voiding in this direction here. So what Camy's going to do is he builds out that extra box because now as he voids, he's one of the last people to land. So he's way less likely to get scuffed. Way less likely to get scuffed. And actually his mask is done now. That was his last mask charge. But it's realistically the last time he's going to need to use a mask. So now, scouting around a bit. We'll see if should be getting towards the point where he's going to start getting some of those kills we saw on the feed. Now he's able to sprint up his way into zone, which is nice. Up on the opening side as well. And this might be some free opportunities for him. Yeah, some free loot here. Jake Buka goes down. There is that player above, so he's going to try to stay ultra safe. Making sure to scout the box well. Really peeking in there. Oh, he didn't get some of the mats there. I don't think he got any of the brick, but that's fine. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Didn't realize Camy was getting fraggy. Chill out. Come on, Camy, calm down. You're supposed to be the ultra efficient zero fighter. There you go. Okay, I guess that guy forced his hand though. Gets a refresh. Gets the extra mats, which is nice. But at this point now, we're kind of in survival mode. 13 players left in this game. He's really running low on mats. He's going to have to start taking a bit more risk. He needs some kills, right? He can't be the ultra super safe Camy he's been this whole game. It doesn't make sense. He'll just die and not get a win here, right? So he has to start taking a bit more risk. And so what is he going to do? He's going to move towards front side of the zone and look back. Look back for all the people running in. Spots a guy there. Can't get any damage on it, but we'll do the same thing again. Moves towards the front side, starts looking back. This time he does spot something. Nice, beautiful. Runs in, gets the mats, doesn't block anything off. It's not very Camy-like, but that's fine. Doesn't have many mats, it is just siphoned, so gonna have to use his mats sparingly. And now it's a top 5 situation, and usually in these situations, it's just ultra instinct. It's all about the ultra instincts. Just hit your shots when someone is in front of your face. Try not to get messed up by one of the people on high or ulti low. Drops down. 1v1 versus Ayabafa. Ayabafa is 1 HP. That's easy pickings. Just 2 players left. One of them dies. The other one's right on his head. And that's an easy shot for Camy. That's an easy shot for Mr. Kaminsky. I mean, look, there's plenty to learn there. There's plenty to learn there. When you are rotating mid-game, be efficient with it. Look for places to refarm, spot to spot. Always be scouting, looking at your options of where you need to rotate. I think Camy got like the worst pull in almost every single one of those zones, but he was ready for it every time. Made sure he moved quickly, moved into good positions where not many people are going to be there to mess with him. I mean, it's not flashy. It's not flashy, but it works. It works. This guy won a solo cash cut. 4-kill win. We'll take those. We'll take those. The most boring Fortnite player? I'm going to say no. It's not boring. It's satisfying. If anything, it's actually the most satisfying Fortnite gameplay there possibly is. Because it's just a guy just cooking. He ain't got to do all that fancy stuff, Peter button them, Vico's running around. He has to kill like 20 people to stay alive in the game. Nah. We just ultra efficiency. That's how it should be. Good Fortnite. The most maybe truly the most beautiful Fortnite played. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.